And can you change so that we can see your face a little bit better? Or like just move the camera? Oh, perfect. That's better.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor. I'll honor those things which are good, true, and beautiful. Respect. I'll show respect to
at all times.
service. I'll show service. I'll show good things to others.
Do good things for others without
being asked. Excellence. I'll strive for excellence in all things. Perseverance. I'll fulfill commitments and not give up or act on discouragement.
Very good, Emma. Thank you so much. Let's have a moment of silence now. Okay, boys and girls, well, let's start on some spelling review today. That's right, Alina, get your whiteboard and marker out. Pretty predictable, I guess. We'll do some phonogram review and review the words that you took on your quiz, that you wrote on your quiz on Friday. Marcus, looks like you are sleepy this morning. Can you wiggle around? Maybe do a few jumping jacks to wake up for today?
I only got 30 hours of sleep.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. 3 hours of sleep is not nearly enough. I don't know about any of you guys, but I feel weird if I get less than about 7 hours of sleep. My brain doesn't work right. Yes, Ariansh?
I think 3 hours of sleep is already way too less. I'm sleepy by sleeping only 8 hours.
Yeah, definitely. It is so important that you all get full night's rest. 8 hours is a great goal, maybe even more at your age. Okay, so hopefully Marcus sleeps better tonight. I'm sorry, bud. Let's start with the phonogram R, the pirate phonogram. Please write R. And Emma, can you angle the camera so we can see your face better? I want more and more opportunities that they're going to choose your picture for the video. That's good. Yeah, we can see your face better. Emma, can you unmute yourself and say this phonogram?
R.
Good. Next up, please write the phonogram OR. OR. Alexander?
Can I see the phonogram?
Yes, you may.
R.
OR. Good. Next, please write the phonogram OO. OO. Like tool or book. OO. Rishith, would you unmute yourself and say this one? Good. Next up, please write E-A-A. E-A-A. All vowel phonograms today. Marcus, could you unmute yourself and say this one for us?
EA here and it has a demonstration. Yuck. I don't want to have green peas with my mac and cheese.
Yeah, E, like in the word peas. Would be like in the word bread. E-A. Okay, that's all of our phonograms for today. Let's move on to some spelling practice, beginning with the word dispense, like dispense of the cookies. Dispense. Dispense. Yes, Dikshita?
For this Friday, will we have a spelling quiz or a mastery test?
Mastery test.
Thank you.
Good question. Dispense. Check that yours matches mine, and if it doesn't, make corrections. I do not have the spelling quizzes graded yet, but I'll try to do that very soon. I've been loving your pictures of all the owl pellet labs and the charts that you've been creating as well. And I'm going to probably ask your parents, planning to send a Parent Square update today, that they're getting the yearbook ready. And I think that would be fun to have some pictures of your owl pellet labs in the yearbook. So I can't send the pictures from Bright Thinker over to Mrs. Armstrong, who does the yearbook. Your parents will have to send that picture separately to my email. But if any of you would like your picture in the yearbook and some of those extra pages, we're definitely needing some more. Tig, I can actually send yours on because your mom emailed it to me separately. But the ones that are in Bright Thinker, I'll need it to be a separate email.
So you're saying you can send them in
Yours.
mine
You emailed it.
because they're emailed, right?
Yes, I can send the ones that have been emailed to me, but the ones that were just uploaded to Bright Thinker, I can't send on, so you'll have to send it to me again through email if you want it to be in the yearbook.
Okay.
Emma?
Can we email a picture of my two skulls to you? Because
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, you can do another one with both of the skulls because this picture you sent to me was just of one of them.
Okay.
Good idea.
So
Yes, Emma?
for the book
Harika, we should not have toys out right now, sweetie. Please put that away.
is there going to be a book report?
There will be a book report for this final quarter. I have been, that's on my to-do list, and I'll write a reminder that I'll put that as a Bright Thinker assignment today.
Is this book fun?
You know what, sweetie? I'll have to look at that later. You can let me know about it during reading groups. How about?
Okay.
Okay, next word to write, please, is value. Please write value. We'll talk about those pictures and everything later. I'll really need to send that information on to your parents. I was just kind of saying it as I thought through. That's something I'd like to do this week since they're trying to get the final edit for the yearbook soon. Good job, everybody, remembering your silent final E at the end of value. Next, let's write past tense valued. Valued. Good, just add d. Next, valuing. Valuing. Please write valuing. Great job, Emma. Excellent job, everybody, remembering to drop your silent final E before you add that ing suffix. Marcus, I know you're tired, but you have to be doing the work. It's class time, okay, bud? Please write the word allege, Marcus, and everybody else. Allege. This is the base of the word allegation and allegiance. But we pronounce the word allege. Great job. Allege. We need a double L in this word. Great job for those of you who remembered that. Looks like a couple of you forgot the double L. Can you check to make sure you've got allege? Saha Nasser, it looks like you forgot the double L. Can you add another one? Actually, it'd be good to rewrite it with 2 L's instead. Marcus, can I see your word? It looks like you were writing it. Thank you. Okay, that is all of our spelling review for today. You can erase your boards at this time. And we have a short spelling lesson today. Only 3 words. Whoa. You can take out your binder and pencil now. Let's get ready for that new spelling lesson. Yes, Tig?
There's something I forgot to tell you about. Well, something that my mom told me to tell you, but I forgot to tell you about.
Okay, what is it?
It's that next Friday I'll be missing class because of the road trip. We're leaving Disney.
Yes.
Driving to Virginia.
Okay, thanks for letting me know. It's okay. She sent me an email about that too. So I always have them recorded. So you'll just be able to watch that class another time. So you're going to be in Williamsburg?
Yes.
Oh, that is going to be so cool. You'll have to tell us all about it. And it's going to connect really well with our history unit.
I'll tell you about Busch Gardens too.
I would love that.
How's it going to connect with our history?
He's going to one of the original colonies, to Virginia, that we're learning about. And specifically he's going to Williamsburg, which was the capital of the Virginia colony. Yeah. That's where you're going to go, right, Tig? I know you're going to go to Disney World, but also to Williamsburg.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the original capital of the Virginia colony hundreds of years ago. And they still have a lot of buildings and museums that really show off the history of that time. Dikshita?
I was born in one of the 13 colonies.
Which one?
Massachusetts.
Ooh, very cool. I
And
didn't know
another-
you were born in Massachusetts.
And another thing, so for the ACT Aspire test, when will we get the results?
This summer.
Oh,
The MAP test, you get the results really quickly. ACT Aspire, it's a big delay, so it's not until this summer, actually.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, boys and girls. Now, on Thursday, I guess it was, we learned the word dessert, like something sweet to eat, dessert. Now, it sounds pretty similar to the word desert. But what's a desert? Not dessert, but desert. Alexander?
A desert is a place where everything's dry and cactus grow. Lots of less animals live there. Some live animals. It's its habitat. That's a desert.
Yeah, it's a special ecosystem that is very dry, can be quite hot, but especially does not have a lot of rain. And so the animals and plants that live in a desert have to be accustomed to that. They are created to be plants and animals that can withstand not having rain for a long time. Yes, Emma?
I'll give you
You can give us an example.
I'll give you a hint of what dessert is. I always have after dinner.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Emma?
Can almost like snowy places also be deserts?
Yeah, there can be deserts in cold, snowy climates too. Mm-hmm. So I know that you guys brought this up in our last class when we were talking about dessert, that the way to remember which one's desert and which one's dessert is that you want more dessert and less sand, right? Or we were saying more s'mores, less sand. So you want the double S in dessert. You do not want a double S in desert. Can you sound out desert with me? Desert. 2 syllables. First syllable, d, 2 sounds. Next syllable, z, t. Desert. We're going to use there of her there. That z makes a z sound in this word too. But the main thing to keep in mind is that it's just one S. It's not a double S like dessert. Can you pick up your pencil and write desert? Desert. Tig, what's your sister doing that's making you laugh over there?
Ailish, sing your song. No, not the alphabet song, the song you were just singing. The Dr. Coconut song.
Doctor.
She's singing a song called Dr. Coconut.
Coconut. Did she make it up?
It's from a movie.
Very cute. Oh, you guys are so lucky to have younger siblings who keep life fun and interesting. Okay, here we go. Let's write the word desert. And, oh, sorry. Syllable break, t, desert. Our manual has the S in the first syllable to keep the vowel short. However, according to most dictionaries, we would mark it this way because we pronounce it desert, desert. This is really pronounced in the second syllable. Okay, Aryansh, would you like to mark the word for us?
Yes. The first syllable is basic code.
Correct.
In the second syllable, you put a 2 on top of the S and underline the of her.
Good. Excellent. This is a noun, but this word can also be used as a verb, but when it's used as a verb, it's actually pronounced differently. So according to our manual, they wanted it to be even 2 different words, but you don't really need to. So there's desert, like the Saharan desert. But if we use it in a sentence, like, oh, the family deserted their island. That means they left it. Like a desert island. Does not mean that it's actual desert. It means that it's deserted, which is like left behind. So it can be used as a verb, meaning to leave something or someone behind as well. Has anybody heard it like that before? This word as a verb, like to leave behind? Yeah. So if you use it as a verb, you say desert, but we're going to be talking about it as the noun desert. Okay, time for our next word, which is immense. Can you all say immense? Immense. What is immense? Alexander, do you know what this is?
I don't think so. Not this time.
Okay, Arianch? I heard you saying it over, or I saw that you were mouthing it, so I wasn't sure.
I heard
Arianch?
something like this, like the innocence. I heard a word called innocence.
You're thinking of innocent. That's different, but good thought.
Innocence.
No, this is immense. Immense. Arshab, what does it mean?
Then I don't know it.
That's okay.
I think it means like big or
Yeah. Means big, great, huge, immense. Can you all say immense? Means big or huge, like there was, or it can be a lot. Like the giant that Thor saw was immense. Or the size of our galaxy is immense. Used to describe really huge things. Tag?
Whenever you say immense, it makes me think of Neville Longbottom.
Why so?
I mean, because the way the book describes him, he's big.
Yeah.
Either that or Crab and Goyle.
Yeah, and in the movies, he always gets shot by fire out of his potions he's making.
Yeah, very good point. Also, Dudley Dursley. Dursley, you could think of him as
Oh
pretty
yeah,
immense. Dudley. Yep, that's a good. And Uncle Vernon, yeah. So they are all immense people, those characters. So let's sound out the word immense. Immense, 2 syllables. Can you say it with me again? Immense, 2 syllables. First syllable, I, with a silent to keep the vowel short. So there's a double in this word. Next syllable, s, 4 sounds. This sound is z, followed by a silent finally job 5. Okay? Pick up your pencil and write immense. Oh, Ty, you've got a little helper over there. All right, let's do immense. Syllable break. Silent final E. Immense. Give me a thumbs up if you got that right. Marcus, did you write the word immense? Arshab, would you mark the word for us, please?
So first, the I is basic, and you double underline the M,
Good.
and you underline the S in the next syllable,
Good.
and double underline the E, job number 5.
Perfect. Can you think of what part of speech this is?
Noun.
Good guess, but not a noun. Alina, do you know what it is?
Adjective.
Correct. It modifies a noun or a pronoun. Like the immense giant, or the size of our galaxy is immense. It modifies a noun. Or Hagrid could be described as immense. I agree, Tig. He's half giant. So definitely compared to other people, he's immense. Now, let's go over a synonym of immense. Can somebody think of a synonym for immense? Remember, a synonym, I'm trying to think of the tune of our song. Synonyms, antonyms, and homonyms. Synonyms are words that mean almost the same thing, right? Quoting our song. Who can tell me a synonym for immense? I'll call in a few people, probably nobody will get it right away. Kruti, what's a synonym for immense?
Humongous.
Ooh, humongous is a good one. That's not our spelling word, but very good synonym. Emma, can you tell me another synonym for immense?
Giant.
Ooh, nice one. Also not our spelling word, but excellent synonym. Dikshita, what else?
Large.
Very good synonym. Again, not our spelling word, but very good one. Tig?
Gigantic.
Excellent synonym. Still not it yet, though.
No.
That's a
Ariana?
Immensely.
Oh, nice one. That turns it into an adverb, but that's not it either. Alina?
Oh.
Big.
No, I'll give you a hint. It starts with an E.
Enormous.
Oh, you got it. You got it.
I thought you had to pick on someone.
I was supposed to. Ty was getting ahead of himself. But that's correct. Enormous. Would you all say enormous? Enormous. It's a word that means almost the same thing as immense. Sound out enormous with me. Enormous. 3 syllables. First syllable is E in an open syllable saying its name. Second syllable, n or, 2 sounds. That's the or phonogram. And final syllable, s, 3 sounds. We're going to use ow, o, for the sound, which is typical of adjectives to have that ous spelling. Pick up your pencil and please write enormous. Enormous means almost the same thing as immense. Marcus, are you writing the word? I know you are immensely tired, but we've got to keep working. Try your best to keep persevering. Show me enormous when you are finished, boys and girls. Enormous. E, syllable break. N, or, syllable break. M, s. Enormous. Could I have Sahanasri mark the word for us? Nice, Samhita.
Okay. First, we underline the E in the first syllable.
Correct.
And then in the second syllable, underline the OR.
Very good.
And then in the third syllable, underline the OUS.
We're going to underline actually just the OU.
Okay.
And can you think of which sound it's saying? Ow, O, U, Enormous.
Fourth.
Good. Enormous is another adjective. Let's go ahead and write them in cursive now. Desert. Immense. Enormous. I think this would actually be a good one to also write a sentence for. Can somebody think of a sentence that includes all three of these words? That would be a good cursive cursive practice. Arshab?
The desert was immense and enormous.
Ooh, nice. The desert was immense and enormous. Or we could say maybe immense or enormous describing like an animal that's there or something. Or the night sky that you see. Rishith?
The desert had immense and enormous storms.
Ooh, some storms. Nice. Alexander?
In the desert, there was immense and enormous giants.
Immense and enormous giants. Interesting. Okay, I'll let you guys come up with a sentence of your own, or you can write one of the sentences your classmates just said, and then we'll go over some of the sentences you created. Alina, did you have another one?
Yeah, in the immense desert, I found out there was a giant, there was an enormous camel.
Oh, I like it.
And also, how do you write an I in cursive?
Like this.
Like a capital I. A capital
Yeah, I figured. So, like that. I'll try it again here. We go across and then swoop down and then kind of make like a lowercase L.
Oh, okay.
Very similar to a lowercase L, actually. Okay, can I hear some other sentences you guys created? And show me your beautiful cursive when you are finished, please.
Wait, you have to write your sentence in cursive?
Yes, please.
Oh.
It's good for you to do it again, I guess. Excellent, Alina and Alexander. Samhita?
I was just going to ask if I could say my sentence.
I'd love to hear it, yes.
In the immense desert, there lived an enormous giant named Hagrid.
Oh, I like it. I'll go ahead and write that as an example sentence. In the immense, I'm going to erase this I. That's a good use of an introductory prepositional phrase. We want a comma after the introductory prepositional phrase. In the immense desert, there lived an enormous giant named Hagrid. That would be a good start to a story. Don't you think? Dikshita?
The desert was immense because there was too much sand, and we built an enormous sand castle with all the sand.
Ooh. Aryansh?
Before I share my sentence, the largest desert is on Mars.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that.
The Perseverance rovers found like 1 million deserts there.
Mm-hmm.
And my sentence is, in the immense desert, enormous animals were here.
Nice one. I like the sentences that use immense and enormous to describe two different things. Good one. Okay, well, that is all for the sentence, but I do want to go over a couple of new idioms as well. Actually, one new idiom.
Miss Gardner,
Yes?
would it be okay if I told you my idea for the sentence because I wasn't able to finish writing?
Did you write it in print, just not in cursive?
I wasn't able to finish writing it in cursive. But I do
Okay, you
remember
can
the
tell
idea
me
for
what it was going to be.
In the immense and enormous desert, a sandstorm flew me to a planet where a lot of brutes are, and they played poker with me.
Oh goodness. Okay, let's go over our new idiom for the week, which is last straw. Who's heard this before? Like, oh, that's the last straw. Alina, do you know what it means?
Yeah, it's like you're giving like someone a chance to like do something, and then they say like this is the last straw, or else you're like blank, something like that.
Yeah, it could be something in that kind of situation. Or like there's a bunch of things that happen that are kind of negative, and then the very last one that like tips it over the edge is called the last straw. Now, this actually comes from a proverb that's a little longer. That's the last straw that breaks the camel's back. Has anybody heard that before? The proverb dates back to when camels used to be used to transport goods. So they would like load up the camel with whatever it was and take it from one place to another. And according to an old legend, a man piled pieces of straw one at a time on the camel, a bunch of straw. until there was the one last straw that actually broke the camel's back because it was too much for him to carry. Tig, what did you say on your board? It is...
The Last Straw is the name of the third Diary of a Wimpy Kid book.
Oh. So is he kind of fed up with everything by the end, by that last book? Is that why it's called that?
Yeah. And a whole bunch of things go bad happen to Greg, and so I think that's why they call it The Last Straw or something.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, if you've all read the kids' book, Alexander and the No Good, Very Bad, Horrible Day. I forget the exact wording of it.
I've seen the movie for that.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, there is a movie. So it's also like a picture book for like really young kids. And he's got all sorts of terrible things that happen to him. Alexander, do you have that book especially since you share a name with him?
I mean, I love it. It is like the best movie ever. For one reason, it's named after me. That's why I love it. There's like, I don't know, 3 movies named after me. I like it. Alexander, Hamilton, that one too. I love everything that has my name in it.
Mm-hmm. I don't blame you. That would be so fun. But basically, in that story, he has all these terrible things that happen in his day. His breakfast, he burned his tongue on his oatmeal, or his sister broke his toy, or I forget all the different things that happen. But then the last thing that kind of tips it over the edge is what we would call the last straw, because it's not like that one thing is so terrible, but when it's a whole string of things and then there's one thing that just tips it over the edge, that's what you call the last straw. Arshad?
So, Tag says, in the last Wimpy Kid, the last straw, everything goes bad for him. Everything goes bad for him already in every book.
Oh, it does in all the other books too?
Yeah.
So maybe, okay, that makes sense. That for a whole series, there's been bad things that happened to him. And so by that last book, it is the last straw.
It's true. In the pictures in the book, you rarely ever see him smiling.
Oh, poor guy. Yep, there's Josiah.
He's like whimpering or frowning.
Okay, well, let's put our binders away at this point, and we're going to take out our well-ordered language workbooks. And today we're going to start a new lesson on compound verbs. We're doing pages 164 and 165 today. So would you turn there now? Marcus, can I see your well-ordered language workbook? Okay, so this is a cool exercise on page 164. We've got some simple sentences, and we're going to make them more detailed. So they can be silly. It's fine for them to be kind of silly sentences, but we're going to be adding in some extra details like another subject or another verb, or an adjective or prepositional phrase. Okay, so we'll talk through it first on page 164, and then we'll write down a descriptive sentence. Okay, now sentence 1 says the monkeys reached. Do you all see where I am? On page 164. Great job, Dikshita. Is everybody following along on page 164, where it says the monkeys reached? Okay. Now that's a complete sentence. We've got a subject and a predicate verb, and the just modifies monkeys. Could somebody give me another subject? Another subject. Tig?
After this, can I tell you what I wrote? Like after I answer the, like after I.
Okay.
All right. The first one. So the first thing you need to do is you need to find out what the monkeys reached for. No. You need to say the sentence. You need to add.
Well,
you need to add another verb, and then.
Okay, now this is just an example. What I was asking though is if you could just add another subject. The monkeys.
Bananas.
The monkeys and bananas reached?
Wait, no. The monkeys and the zookeepers.
Ooh, the good one. The monkeys and the zookeepers reached. Could somebody give me another preposition or a prepositional phrase maybe? Let's add a prepositional phrase to this sentence. Aryansh?
The monkeys and zookeepers
We could say reached
for a
or
banana.
something.
Fought for a banana.
Oh, reached and fought, adding another verb, reached and fought for a banana.
Yep. Of course, a monkey wants a banana. But zookeeper's not going to let the monkey have that last banana.
Oh, why not? They're being mean to the monkey. Okay, so that's adding another predicate verb. It's also adding a prepositional phrase. Maybe we can add an adjective. Rishith, can you think of an adjective to describe the monkeys?
The monkeys reached the bananas during nighttime.
Oh, during the nighttime would be a good prepositional phrase. Can you also think of an adjective that would describe the monkeys? What kind of monkeys are they? Or how many monkeys? Actually, we don't want to add how many because that wouldn't make sense with the, but what kind of monkeys? What about mischievous? Remember we did that word recently? For spelling?
Or the mysterious.
And mischievous monkeys has a good ring to it. A little bit of alliteration there.
Or the mysterious monkeys.
Ooh, mysterious monkeys. Yeah. Okay, well, I think that we've got a good sentence so far. Let's write the mischievous monkeys. I like doing that one since it was a recent spelling word too. The mischievous monkeys and zookeepers reached and fought for a banana. There's our sentence. Tig, you can share what you came up with.
Okay. Just warning you, I did make some changes. So I wrote, the mischievous monkeys and the zookeepers reached and fought for bananas in the rain.
In the rain. Oh, good addition.
I should have wrote the angry zookeepers.
Ooh, angry zookeepers would have been a good addition too. Maybe that's why they don't want the monkeys to have bananas. They're just angry.
So the mischievous monkeys and the angry zookeepers reached and fought for bananas in the rain. I like that.
I like it too. Marcus, can you add a little extra detail to this sentence too, which says the chimpanzees ran? What do you think is happening here? Let's add some extra detail. Maybe add a prepositional phrase for us.
The chimpanzees ran from the exterminator.
Oh my goodness, from an exterminator. I like it. What kind of chimpanzees are these? Or maybe we can tell how they ran. Sahanasri, could you give us an
They ran
adjective describing these chimpanzees?
Maybe the crazy chimpanzees.
Oh, I like it. Crazy chimpanzees. How did they run? Let's add an adverb. Alexander?
Ran.
Yeah, I was thinking we could maybe add an adverb to tell how they ran.
Ran fast.
Yeah, we could do. They ran quickly, maybe. How about the crazy chimpanzees ran quickly from the, and before we say exterminator, let's come up with an adjective to describe this exterminator. Harika, can you give us a good adjective to describe the exterminator?
The exterminator was very angry.
So can you say
The crazy chimpanzees ran quickly from the angry exterminator.
okay, from the angry exterminator. It might be also a good goal for the next sentences to use one of our new adjectives that we just did today, immense and enormous. I'll have you come up with a sentence for number 3, or like an extra detailed sentence for this number 3 next, which reads, are those apes dancing? But let's add some extra detail. Maybe, are those apes and peacocks dancing? Let's add another subject. I like the idea of some dancing peacocks.
I have such a good idea. I have such a good idea.
Okay, Tig.
Okay. Are those apes rudely dancing at, are those rude, enormous apes dancing at the immense peacocks?
Dancing at the immense peacocks?
Yes.
Or how about with them?
Oh yeah.
Are those immense apes dancing with the peacocks?
Enormous peacocks. I like that.
Okay, I'll have you all create a sentence of your own for number 3 and 4. And you don't have to do number 5, write your favorite newly constructed sentence below, because that's just a repeat. But I want you to do 3 and 4. You guys are so creative, loving these sentences. There could be a lot of interesting sentences for number 3, especially. I like that one. It's got some good potential. Okay, and I do want to go over down here at the bottom one sentence to analyze together as well. Okay, so you'll finish these sentences up on your own after class if you need extra time. But let's go ahead and analyze one of these sentences together. Alina, can you analyze sentence 1 for us?
Okay, so girls is the subject.
Good. Can you read the sentence for us first?
Oh, okay. The younger girls twirled in circles and skipped around. So girls is the subject. Twirled is the predicate verb. Younger and the are modifying the subject. And is the conjunction. Skipped is the other predicate verb. And Is circles an adjective?
Good question. So the younger girls twirled in circles, and then around, we don't know either. In circles. Think about in, that word in. What part of speech is it?
In is the
In circles. Ariane, can you help her out?
Is a preposition.
You got it. It's a preposition. So what does that make circles?
It makes the object of the preposition.
Good. I think that's the first time we've had a prepositional phrase between our predicate verbs, but it can definitely happen. They twirled in circles and skipped around. Twirled in circles. In circles is an adverbial prepositional phrase just modifying twirled. They didn't skip in circles. So this prepositional phrase only modifies twirled. Okay? Sometimes a prepositional phrase modifies both. Marcus, you've got to do this along with us, bud. This is how you're going to be able to mark these sentences correctly, by doing it with us.
And is around an adverb?
Good. Modifying just the predicate verb skipped.
And
you know how sometimes the adverb modifies both verbs? This one just modifies skipped.
Okay.
Good job, Alina. How are you guys feeling about compound verbs?
Are you okay, Miss Gardner?
Yes, thank you. You guys want to do one more for practice? I think we have time for one more if you would feel better. Yeah? Ariansh, can you lead us in sentence 2?
Hilda laughed at the little girls and joined them in the dance. So, Hilda is the subject.
Heidi.
Oh, sorry, Heidi.
That's okay. That's a tough name, but we pronounce it Heidi.
And laughed is the predicate verb. At the little girls is a prepositional phrase.
Good. Another prepositional phrase between predicate verbs.
And the prepositional phrase modifies laughed.
Good. This is an example of an adverbial prepositional phrase modifying just one of them. She didn't join at the little girls. She laughed at the little girls. Marcus, are you doing this along with us on page 165? Okay, Ariansh, you can keep going.
And the word and is the conjunction.
Good.
Joined is the predicate verb. Them is an adverb describing who Heidi joined.
Good. It does tell who Heidi joined, but what part of speech tells what or whom after the verb? And it's labeled.
Is it the DO?
Good. It is the DO.
Oh, okay.
Them is an object pronoun. And object pronouns can be used as either direct objects or objects of the preposition. Remember, the object pronouns are in the objective case. Can you say them with me, boys and girls? Him, her, it, us.
You.
Oh, I'm blanking. Oh, me. Sorry, we start with me. Me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them. So all of those are object pronouns that we can use as direct objects or objects of the preposition. Okay, Ariansh, you can finish up the sentence.
Okay, and in the dance is the prepositional phrase.
Good.
And it modifies only joined.
Excellent. In is a preposition. Dance is an object of the preposition. The modifies it. And the and little modify girls. Okay, boys and girls, any questions about that? Sentence 2. Let me zoom you in a little closer. Sorry, that was kind of far away. Any questions about it? Okay. I'll have you finish up these pages on your own. We've got a few more sentences to modify and another practice of synonyms. Think of some synonyms for holding. Write a sentence about a waitress holding something. This next one is a musician holding, and then a football player holding something. Okay. Let's move on to orthography notebooks at this time. And then we're going to start on math. You will once again have roots posted separately this week, but I will definitely try to make a better effort of having conversation about it soon too. We're going to be learning, just to give you a heads up. So we had the Latin word manus, which is your hand, last week. And this week, we're going to learn the Latin word for foot. So we had hand, manus, and foot is pes or pedis. Like a pedal, you have a pedal on your bike, it's for your foot. Or a pedicure is when you get your toenails painted. So you're going to be learning some words to go along with that Latin word, pes pedis for foot. Okay, let's do words for lesson 99. We are almost done. Or we are almost to lesson 100. Tomorrow is lesson 100. You will have done 100 spelling lessons for the year. It's a good feeling. Marcus, are you on page 62 with us? Can you flip to page 62? The first word we're going to write, excellent, is desert. Desert. Please write desert. Not dessert, but desert. Okay, next is immense. And the last one was enormous. Enormous. Excellent work. We're going to sort in some synonym, antonym, and homonym pages, as you might have guessed, because we have some good words that go along with that today. Page 12 is where we have synonyms, and what two words in our lesson were synonyms? Words that mean almost the same thing. Can anybody tell me what two words from our list are synonyms. Arianch?
Immense and enormous.
Good. Let's write immense and enormous. On page 12, they are synonyms for each other. And then when you're done with that, we're going to flip to page 14. We had some homonyms today. So dessert sounds like the word desert, like the family deserted their camping spot. Dessert that you eat, and that type of dessert sound the same. Now, we're also going to write desert over here because the desert, like the place, is spelled the same, but it sounds different and means something different from like leaving somebody behind or something behind. So desert, spell it the exact same way for the homograph, and then dessert and dessert over here, 2 S's and 1 S. Does that make sense? So homographs, remember, are ones that are spelled the same, but they mean something different and they sound different, like elaborate and elaborate, desert, dessert. And then these two are homophones. So that is all. It's all of our markings, all of our sorting. Once you're done with page 14, you can take out your math notebook. We'll get started on some math next. Okay. Now, adding and subtracting like fractions, I'm going to have you do a little bit of extra practice in your homework today on this, but I don't think we need any more time practicing this. Who can tell me how we do add like fractions, which means fractions with the same denominator? Samhita?
I was just gonna say, like, your voice is a bit breaking. What was the question again?
How do we add like fractions?
You just have to add the top. The bottom, you have to leave the same.
That's exactly right.
The numerator, you get to add, but the denominator, you have to leave it the same.
Very good. So like 1/7 plus 2/7 equals what?
It equals 3/7.
3/7. Correct. Or 6/8 minus 1/8 equals what, Alexander?
Once again, as like this happens so many times, but that's actually disappointing too. 5/8.
Not raising your hand, just showing 5.
Yeah.
5/8. So it's as simple as that. All we do is add or subtract our numerator. Now, the part in your workbook pages that will be reviewed for today that might be a little bit tricky at first is when you have 1 whole minus something. If you had 1 whole minus 1/8, who can tell me what we would do there? 1 whole minus 1/8. Josiah, do you know what we would, how we would subtract 1/8 from 1 whole? Josiah, could you unmute yourself?
I don't know.
Josiah, did you say you don't know?
Yeah.
That's okay. Now, we want this to have a denominator of 8. So let's change it to a different fraction. 1 whole is the same as how many eighths? Can you think of it, Josiah? 1 whole is when your numerator and denominator are the same. So Josiah, we're going to make it 8 eighths. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we know we need our denominator to be the same, so we have to change it from 1/8 to 8 eighths. Now, can you subtract it?
Okay. So the answer is 7/8.
Good. Okay, let's do one more like that before we move on to our next lesson. By the way, our next lesson we're going to spend 2 days on, so we'll just do a little kind of introduction to it today. Rishith, can you tell me 1 whole minus 1/4? How are we going to solve that? We want to change this 1 whole to a fraction with a denominator of 4. What's going to be the numerator?
0.
Not 0, but remember that we want our numerator and denominator to be the same for fractions that are 1 whole.
4?
Good. So think of it this way. If we've got, we always say pizza because it's easiest to think of pizza as a fraction, right? So if you had a pizza that was cut up into 4 slices and you ate a whole pizza, how many fourths did you just eat? 4 fourths, right? 1 whole pizza was the same as 4 fourths. Does that make sense? So anytime you've got 1 whole and you want to think of it as a fraction, it's just when the numerator and denominator are the same. Even if it was a fraction with a huge denominator like 90, if it's 90 over 90, 90 90ths, that's 1 whole. Alexander?
I forgot to tell you something this morning, but can I share it after math class? Because it's super exciting for me if it's a maybe too.
I would love to hear the exciting news, yeah, after math class. Okay, I'm going to put this away for now. I figured that addition and subtraction of fractions was pretty simple other than when you had 1 whole and you're subtracting from it. I know that could be a little bit tricky, so we'll keep practicing that today in your workbook pages that are going to be some review pages. You'll have some problems like that. Where it's 1 whole, for example, minus 7/9. So just remember that you'll change that 1 whole to a fraction of 9/9 in this case, okay? Well, let's move on to our next fraction lesson, fractions of a set. Fractions of a set. So in this lesson, our goal is to read, write, and identify fractions of a set. Find the number of items in a fraction of a set. Now we've been mainly seeing fractions where it's like a rectangle divided up or a circle divided up, but we can also use fractions to identify parts of a whole where we've got just groups of items. Okay, now there are 4 apples here. 3 out of the 4 apples are red. How would we represent this as a fraction? Ariansh?
3/4, because 3 is how much what you're trying to find. Like there's 3 red apples, and 4 is how many apples are there in total.
Very good. There are 3 parts of a whole. The whole amount is 4 apples. 3 of them are red. So we would say 3/4 for this. Okay, down here we've got a vase with some flowers. It already tells us that there are 10 flowers. That means we know that whatever the fraction is going to be, it's a denominator of 10, right? Because that's the total. 10 is our total flowers. Okay, Kruthi. The first question says, what fraction of the flowers are red? Can you count up the red flowers and tell us what fraction are red?
Sure. 5.
So can you tell us how many red flowers there are as a fraction?
5/5.
Well, how many total flowers are there?
5/10. Sorry.
Good, 5/10. By the way, we can reduce that. Can anybody think of an equivalent fraction that's simpler? Emma, can you think of a simpler fraction? 5/10 is the same as? Look, our denominator is twice as big as the numerator. It's double. So what does that mean it is the same as, Ariansh? I'll have him help you out.
I remember it equals to 1/2.
You're right. It does equal 1/2. Anytime your denominator is twice as big as the numerator, it's the same as 1/2. Okay, now, what fraction of the flowers are purple? We've got to count up how many purple flowers there are. And it's out of 10 still. We still have 10 flowers. Alina, can you tell us how many flowers are purple?
2.
Good. So what is that as a fraction?
2/10.
Correct. 2/10. Which, by the way, we can also reduce that by dividing by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 10 divided by 2 is
5.
5. So 1/5. Now, what fraction of the flowers are yellow, Harika? Can you tell us how many yellow flowers there are? And then it's going to be out of 10.
There are 3 out of 10 flowers.
Good. 3 out of 10. So 3/10. We can't make that any smaller, by the way, because we can't divide this by 2 and we can't divide this by 3. So, Alexander, can you answer the last question? What fraction of the flowers are not red? Good. How did you solve that?
Well, since there are 5 red flowers out of 10, I'm counting up 3/10 plus 2/10 equals 5/10.
Good. 5/10 are red. 5/10 are not red, which would include yellow and purple. Okay. Now, here is something else. Okay. Now take a look at these apples. It's the same basic fraction of apples as in the last picture, where there were 3 red and 1 green. So we would say 3/4 of these apples are red, right? 3/4. Now, if we add 2 more groups that are exactly the same, technically this would be 9/12, but it's going to be reduced to 3/4. And that's really easy to see because still 3 out of the 4 lines are red, right? At first we were saying 3 out of the 4 apples are red. Now it's 3 out of the 4 lines are red. So it's still a fraction of 3/4, even with more apples. Okay, so like in this one, if we take a look at just these little rubber ducks, how many of the rubber ducks are purple? Can you say it as a fraction? Josiah?
3/2.
3 out of how many altogether? Remember, our denominator is the total.
Oh, 3/5.
Good. 3/5 are purple. Arshad, how many are yellow?
2/5.
2/5 are yellow. Good. Now, if we add another line, that doesn't change our fraction because it's the same grouping of 2/5 yellow, 3/5 purple. So regardless of how many lines we add, if it's still 2 yellow and then 3 purple, that's going to be the fraction. Okay, we're going to stop it here and at this point take a few notes. So can you open up your math notebook? And we're going to do a few examples. Today is April 19th. Lesson 14.6. In your workbook pages, by the way, there's going to be a lot of times when they'll ask you to color it so that you're able to see the fraction parts pretty well. In our notes, we can also do that, but I'm going to do different shapes so that if you don't have colored pencils, you can still show the difference. Okay, let's do, just as some kind of random shapes, we'll do smiley faces. And stars. Smiley faces and stars. So draw 3 smiley faces and 2 stars. So if I were to ask what fraction of the shapes are stars, what's the answer? Out of all of the shapes, how many are stars? And make sure your denominator is the whole amount. of shapes? Dikshita?
2/5.
Correct. 2/5. And 3/5 are smiley faces. Okay, now what if it was more rows? Okay, let's do another one of these. It's still, for every 3 smiley faces, there's going to be 2 stars. So 3 smiley faces, 2 stars. 3 smiley faces, 2 stars. And we'll divide up these rows. Do our fractions change just because we added more smiley faces and stars? No, because it's still the same ratio. You'll get into ratios when you're older, but basically for every 3 smiley faces, there's 2 stars. Or you could think of it like 3 of the 5 rows are smiley faces, 2 of the 5 rows are stars, or columns, I should call them, because we're talking through going down. So 3 of the 5 columns are smiley faces, 2 of the 5 columns are stars. So as a little note down here, I'm going to write fractions are the same I'm trying to think of the best way to write this. If the same numbers are added to the set. Okay, so the fractions are still the same if it's the same numbers added to the set. So smiley faces equals 3/5 of the whole, stars equals 2/5 of the whole. And if it helps you, you can also think of it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 smiley faces out of 15 whole shapes. And 9/15, if we divide each of these by 3, it's 3/5. So even if you did count up all 9 smiley faces out of 15 total shapes, it gets reduced down to 3/5. That's the simplest form. Okay, but basically we're just doing a little shortcut of finding the equivalent fraction by just looking at one line. And if the other lines are the same, then all we have to do is look up one line, and that's the fraction. Okay, we'll do this a little bit more tomorrow. This is just the first part of our lesson. So we'll keep going with this tomorrow, but for your homework pages today, you're going to have some review of adding and subtracting fractions. Remember, all you do is look at the numerator. And then you'll have a page of practicing this lesson of fractions of a set. You will need to have colored pencils or crayons for this. Like in this first problem, it says, Sean paints 2 of the 5 model trucks green. He paints the rest brown. Color the trucks to help you. I do think that's going to help you. And then it says, what fraction are green? What fraction are brown? Alexander?
Can I share my thing now?
Just 1 minute. And then the back of the page is one of these problems where it's 2/5 again, but there's just more rows. Does that change our fractions? Nope, it doesn't. Because as long as it's still 2 green, 3 brown, all the way down, you just can think of the fractions for that first line. Okay? So reviewing addition and subtraction and just a little bit of this fractions of a set, and then we'll get to more of it tomorrow. Okay, go ahead, Alexander.
So it turns out, this is so sudden, but we might move, but if we don't move, I think I've told you we might move, but my parents are still deciding if they really want it. If we don't move, we might get a pet turtle. Maybe.
You might get a pet turtle and you might move. Oh my goodness. Where would you move?
Just a mile away from our house. I'm like, can we move somewhere?
Oh, okay. Oh no, don't move anywhere farther.
I mean,
but that would be very exciting.
Closer to you guys,
Oh yeah. Arsha?
Make a turtle.
In the to-do list, there isn't any math pages or WOL pages.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. I'll add those today, or I'll add those right about now. The math pages, I wanted to see how far we'd get. And so I wanted to wait until after class to see how much to do. And then the well-ordered language pages are just not in there yet. Yes, Alina?
So didn't you say we would have them a Nearpod game?
Oh, I did say that. Okay, you know what? We will do a quick little Nearpod game that is going to review addition and subtraction of fractions. I did say that. Okay, so I have it ready to go, but I'm going to make the timing shorter than my last class had it. They ended up having time for it on Friday. So I'm going to make it shorter. Because I think it was too much time. Also, I think this is a little bit too simple. I ended up not creating this one, but just finding it on Nearpod, all about equivalent fractions and adding and subtracting. So it may be too easy for you guys, but still good review. Okay, so go to nearpod.com and then I'm about to get the code. There it is. ANZ 6G. Okay. You guys can start logging in, and I'll add those well-ordered language and math pages to Bright Thinker right now. 164 to 167. You guys able to log in? Any of you yet? Okay. And I'll present the student screen in just a moment too. I'm gonna add those math pages and well-ordered language pages now though.
Miss Garner, can you wait for 2 minutes?
Yes. Oh, it looks like nobody's in yet.
Can I go to sleep?
Oh, Marcus, I hope that you get a better night rest tonight. Can you try to go to bed early?
Miss Gardner, who is
Yes,
my
sweetie?
name is unknown? Who is my name is unknown?
I see a Samhita in there. Oh, I don't know who my name is unknown.
Miss
Is it
Gardner,
possible?
Miss Gardner, it's not letting me in. It's like my screen is frozen.
Okay, sweetie, you might need to just participate on a whiteboard. That might end up being best. I'll get the student screen up. And then you can just participate on a whiteboard.
I'm Harry, just to let you guys know.
Okay. Okay. We've got an imposter, Miss Gardner, and another imposter, Miss Gardner, Ellen Gardner. Oh my goodness. This is so confusing. Rishith, was that you? Oh, I'll take that as a compliment because imitation is the highest form of flattery. Okay, we'll wait just, oh, it's already 10:20. So we're gonna have to start the game. If you are not able to log in, you can just write your answers on a whiteboard. Okay, let's begin though. Question 1. A fraction is what? The answer to a division problem, a part of a whole, or the multiplication of different parts. The answer, a part of a whole. Next question. The blank, which is the bottom part of a fraction, shows the total number of parts in one whole. What's the bottom number? Bottom number is denominator. Great job. I know this is quick, but it was really boring for my second class when it was too long. What's the top part of a fraction? It shows the number of parts of the whole. The top of the fraction. The answer? Numerator. Next, blank fractions are fractions that represent the same amount. Numerator, denominator, or equivalent. Shows the same amount. Equivalent. Very good for those of you who got it. Next, select the fraction that is equivalent to 1/3. Which one is the same? 1/2, 2/3, or 2/6? 2/6. Good. Which one is equivalent to 5/10? 1/2, 10/15, or 3/4? Sorry, I meant to make this time a little longer.
I'm the fox right next to you because I had to leave because it was working too slow for me.
Yeah, that's okay.
So if you
Which
see here,
fraction is equivalent to 2/3? 1/6, 3/9, or 6/9? Which one's equivalent to 2/3? Sorry, I meant to make those a little longer. The next questions are going to give you more time. Which one is equivalent to 15/20ths? 3/4, 20/40, or 1/10? Three-fourths. Excellent job if you got that right. Add 2/5 and 1/5. What's the answer to 2/5 plus 1/5? I think I should have flipped these times and made this one shorter and then the last few longer. So I'll change that for the future. The answer, 3/5. And I think this is our last one. Add 4/8 and 1/8. The answer is 5/8. Add only the numerator. Samhita got first place. Great job, sweetie. And who is number 2? Arshab, well done. And
It's
third place
Hisardukes.
is a
Hisardukes.
different Ellen Gardner. Hisardu. Rishith, was that you in third place? Well done. Okay, great job, everybody. I'm going to have just my reading group stay now. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Happy Monday.
Bye.
Bye, Miss Turner. Bye, everybody. Bye.